A couple, named Nina and Christian, hire a new house sitter, Trevor, to whom they show their precious belongings and a manual to control their smart mansion. Before leaving, they tell Trevor that the lock and unlock codes are the years of famous naval battles, and in case of any mistake, only Nina's voice can control it. Soon, Trevor finds himself troubled by a bee and accidentally breaks a sculpture. He attempts to repair it while learning the controls for kitchen cabinets. Instead, he mistakenly leaves the manual on the burning stove while getting distracted by the couple's pet dog, Cupcake, who has managed to get inside the library, which contains an incredibly expensive illuminated manuscript. Since Trevor does not remember the unlock codes, he tries breaking the glass with a hammer, which bounces off of the glass and ends up tearing a nearby painting. He then starts mimicking Nina's voice and tries different codes until he finally manages to unlock the library and cleans up the mess made by Cupcake. Wanting to share the news about his new job, he keeps sending voicemails to his daughter, Maddie, until she finally calls him back at night and reminds him of his promise to take her on a holiday. After the call, he goes to sleep in the maid's room but sees the bee's shadow through the door. As he opens the door to catch the bee, the emergency alarm activates. As he has not used the code, he confusingly tries different codes to turn off the alarm. The next morning, Trevor wakes up for breakfast but is interrupted by a police officer asking about the emergency alarm. While he tries to clarify the situation to the officer, he is disturbed by the bee which has got inside his pants. As the officer leaves, Trevor takes off his pants to capture the bee inside but forgets to zip them, allowing the bee to escape. Next, he sets a peanut butter trap in the microwave oven and manages to lure the bee inside. Meanwhile, Nina calls Trevor to inquire about the alarm, and Cupcake, who has managed to get a taste of the peanut butter, starts farting because of allergies. Trevor ends the call and releases the bee into the garden instead of killing it. Trevor, however, manages to lock himself out while the bee is able to re-enter. Trevor realizes that Cupcake has a smart collar used to unlock the pet flap, so he brings a cat into the dog's sight and gets the collar. While he tries to enter through the pet flap, he falls into Cupcake's feces. As he sees the bee, Trevor takes chase with a kitchen mixer. However, the machine rolls into the decoration piece. He follows the bee in the chimney but is again interrupted by the officer, who informs him about the burglars operating in that area, while Trevor was covered in chimney ash. Jess calls Trevor to remind him about their daughter's plan. Instead, he shares with her about that bee, which she thinks does not matter. He tries to clarify he cannot meet Maddie until next week as he is busy with his job. Trevor enters the master bathroom and takes shower with a pleasant music. While enjoying, he is shocked to see the bee again and washes it out. He follows it to the master bedroom with a blow dryer, after which he traps it in the grand piano with an autoplay system. However, the bee still survives, which Trevor now captures in a vacuum machine. Thinking that the bee should be in the dust bag, he burns it while practicing yoga. However, the bee instead comes out from the machine's pipe. Trevor now cleans up the house and alternately fixes all the mess he made, after which he gets a beer and goes to bed, where Maddie calls him before sleeping. He shares he has planned for a campsite visit. Meanwhile, the burglars break in by hacking the system and distracting the dog, but find out that all precious items are looking fake. Trevor overhears some noise but finds the bee in the toilet and he starts ranting for it, after which he locks the system without knowing that burglars have broken in. The next morning, the police arrived following a suspicious car outside and come to know that the burglars have been locked in for hours, so they are arrested. Trevor's statement is recorded in an inquiry where he clarifies not knowing anything suspicious. Trevor then again sets a trap for the bee using peanut butter bread in the dog food cabinet while trying to keep the dog away. However, the dog and the bee both are trapped and lose consciousness as Trevor unloads different inflammable sprays. Nina, wondering about Cupcake, calls Trevor after getting an update from the police, to whom Trevor barely tries to satisfy. He hangs up Jess and searches for the vet to take the dog. Meanwhile, the bee revives. As Trevor rushes to a vet in the car, he gets interrupted by the bee while driving. After returning with the recovered dog, he damages the car in search of the bee. Soon, He realizes the damage and watches a video on the life of solitary bees and learns that the male bees keep wandering around as they are forced to leave their only homes by the female bees. In the backyard, Trevor works on his idea. He fixes a wooden showpiece, uses honey cans, and mixes sugar with weed killer. The idea is revealed to be making a bomb. As he gets the bee in his trap, Trevor launches the explosion, due to which the dog is trapped under the falling showpiece and the damaged car breaks out of the garage. Trevor, however, is shocked to see that the bee survived. He now sets the house on fire, following the bee with a propane cylinder. Meanwhile, the returning couple, Nina and Christian, witness all of this and charge him with 14 counts, after which he is sentenced to 3 years imprisonment. 3 months later, in jail, he overhears the burglars talking about Christian, who paid them for the robbery and has claimed fake insurance of millions of pounds. On Trevor's complaint, the police arrest Christian, who was hosting an art gallery at his place. Trevor is released and rewarded and takes his daughter to a campsite. While having snacks, he again gets interrupted by the bee and once again tries to kill it. Don't forget to subscribe. Like the video and tell me what you want to see next.